Hey everybody, we got a new one. Look at this big boy. Look at him. Look, you can't tell he's 3 pounds. He is 3 pounds. He is heavier than a bunch of the stuff behind me combined. That's how heavy this boy is. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's bigger than my head. Bigger than my head. Look how squishy he is though. Squish. Like he's squishy. Weesh. He's very soft, extremely soft. This guy was on sale on Amazon. So soft, so soft. He's very soft, snugly soft. There you go, there you go. Welcome back, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for the vlog. So what do we talk about here? What's going on? What's going on with Scarf? I forgot something. I forgot to do these giveaways I was doing before. I only give away 2 things, and then at some point I just got really swamped and I forgot. So I think I still got the PlayStation card and the Xbox card. So we're gonna do the PlayStation card giveaway, $50 card. Give it away on Twitter. So just go to Twitter. There will be a post about giving away the PlayStation store card. If you want that, and just like and retweet. You don't need to follow because I don't want fake engagement. So what's important is, after some time people have caught on that what's important isn't your numbers, not your followers or subs or all that stuff. What matters is the actual number of people who engage with you, who actually do stuff with your tweets, who actually make comments, who actually watch your videos, not just for like a second, but you actually get views and all this stuff, like real views for advertising, things like that. Examples of this, Sony PlayStation. Because of my sub numbers, I've said this before in podcasts, because of my sub numbers, if you, so I get some Sony's games because of my sub numbers, because I have 10,000 subs. Well, almost, it rounds up to 10,000. It's not there anymore, right? But because of that, I get access to some games from Sony PlayStation, from Sony, from Square Enix. I said Sony. From Square Enix, I get access to some things from Square Enix. They're basically 1-to-1 these days, aren't they? From Square Enix, I get a bunch of games from them for free, so I can play them and advertise them. Everything Dragon Quest, I get. If it's a Dragon Quest game, I get it. The only one they wouldn't give me was Builders for some reason. And then a lot of indies will throw me their games. By the way, I got some new furry games now, so look out for that on the other channel. On the PH channel, if you know what I mean, eventually. And, so I get games thrown at me, I get them offered to me. If I ask for games, I usually get them. I can't get the Final Fantasy stuff, though. So 15, FF7 Remake, those they will not give me unless I have stronger engagement. They actually pay attention to the engagement when it comes to Final Fantasy. I think it's just because it's a different division or something. They actually care about that. So it's interesting to see when companies actually pay attention to that. Tiny Build is back and forth. Depending on the game, Tiny Build will care about your numbers, or they'll care about your engagement. And some other companies are like that as well. So it's very interesting to see that. It really is. So that's why when it comes to these giveaways is I don't want fake following. Like I don't care about that, because that doesn't actually do anything for me, because just having this number of followers doesn't mean much unless I actually engage with these people, because it's like, oh hey, we're talking, we're having a conversation, because Twitter's about conversations to me. Twitter's about Twitter's about following artists because I like looking at cool art. I have a side Twitter for following Kirby art, which is fun, and then I have another Twitter for following. I have too many Twitters. There's the main Twitter, which is me following a bunch of cool people, content creators, indies, and all that stuff. So I follow them so that I can see their stuff and I'll engage with them, like, oh, that's cool, the development of their game, or whatever, or these artists doing cool things, or these streamers are doing cool stuff. I'll engage with them. So any followers there, it's great if they, like, they retweet what I'm doing or talking about, things like that, because then that's actual engagement. So any fake followers there just makes people, it just looks hollow. If I have high numbers and I don't have much engagement. I can't remember which rapper it is. There's a rapper who bought followers. He has like 3 million followers, and his engagement is as bad as my engagement. But it's way worse considering the ratio. So like, they'll put out tweets or whatever, and they get maybe like 5 likes and maybe 1 retweet, or like 1 or 2 tweets back at them. When you have 3 million followers, that does not look great. at all. So I obviously I'm not going to get that big from just giveaways, but I don't want an inflation, a fake inflation. I want real things because I want real growth. So that's why I just want likes and retweets so people have a chance to win this thing, but not follows. I also don't want fake engagement where I don't want people talking at me thinking that I will somehow skew the random draw for them to win. I've had that happen, and that is incredibly insulting and hurts my feelings because I'm like, oh, we got a new person, this is cool. And then they ghost after they don't win the giveaway. It's like, that is incredibly frustrating. That is not okay at all. Like, greasing the wheels like that, very, very not cool. Don't like that whatsoever. It does work on me, though, in that it makes me wish, like, I wish I was corrupt so that I could skew the giveaway so this person can win it. That's happened to me, where I feel like that. But you gotta be honest, right? You gotta be actually doing this, because what is the point if you're just greasing the wheels like everyone else, I suppose? I say that greasing the wheels like big corporations. That's what I mean by that, not normal people. Do you know about the monopoly scandal? I don't know if you do. So McDonald's, they still do kind of. They had a thing where you buy things, you buy fries or a drink, and you get like these little stickers from Monopoly. And if you got Park Place and Boardwalk, you'd get like $1 million or like 500,000 or a car or something like that. You'd get a really, really big prize. Same thing if you got all three greens, things like that. Well, the manufacturer of those stickers held on to the so you would get a lot of Park Place or Boardwalk, but there'd only be like 2, 3, or 4 of the other one. And also the other one. So there's like these linchpin super rares that you can't win any prizes without. And so the one who made the stickers held on to those. They held on to what the other one between Boardwalk and Park Place. Same thing for the greens and some other ones. And they gave them out to friends or to people for favors. And this happened for years. For years. So everyone's just buying fries for a chance to win a bunch of money. But everyone's buying drinks or whatever. McDonald's making all this money off these people like, oh, it's kind of like a lottery thing. So they're trying to win these prizes. And they can't win the prizes because the wheels have been greased by the people who were making the stickers in the first place. You could not win. You could not win these things. That is extremely not okay. That's very bad. And I don't know what happened to the people with the stickers. It's been a while, but you just learned an interesting thing about what happens sometimes with these big giveaway things. And because of that, that creates a doubt in any big giveaway, where you doubt you actually can win these things. And so it's just like, do I actually want to put in money into this? If it's just like low effort, then fine. If it's actually monetary, maybe not, kind of thing. Like sweepstakes. Everyone enters in these random sweepstakes, and you have, of course, a tiny chance of winning, but it might actually be a 0 chance of winning, which is just awful, because it could be just being given to a friend as a favor. And that is just really BS. And there's you always have that doubt in your mind that maybe that's what's going on, because stuff like that has actually happened. There is precedent for it, so you're not just making bullshit up. Very unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, there's new podcasts. I've been doing, like, weekly podcasts right now. That's not the goal. The goal was to do, like, 2 a month. But suddenly it's ramping up. And the reason why is someone else has a podcast called Basically a Podcast. And because of that, I am just firing up. I'm like, okay, all right. They have an RSS feed called BaPs, Basically a Podcast. I'm like, oh, that's not cool. So now I'm just starting to make podcasts. I'm inviting people. I just never had the balls to invite because like, oh, I want my title back. I want it back. It's mine. Like that kind of thing. It's like, it's mine. Let me pose for the camera. It's mine. I'm a little self-conscious about the gap in my teeth. I feel like, does anyone ever notice it when Lawrence, this is so superficial, Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus, you ever notice the gap in his teeth? I always notice it because I have a gap in my teeth. I always notice it. I notice it in just everything he's in. That's just the first thing I see because I have it too. So I'm like, like right there. Pointing it out probably makes it worse. Why did I do that? So yeah, I'm a little self-conscious about showing my teeth, but I do show my teeth when I don't remember. Okay, back to what I was doing. Like, yeah, I want my podcast back. I want my family back. Like, I want that. So, like we've been doing it way early. Like, here's the thing. We're just getting back and doing podcasts in like May, right? And this podcast shows up in June. So I was like, well, shoot. So now I'm like, okay, all right. I'm going to do overtime at some point. I'm going to use $100 from that overtime to buy my RSS feed. And so we'll have basically a podcast again in RSS feed. Because what happened was we had basically podcast and Kirby. They were on the same feed. And I'm like, we're muddying the water here. And I'm burnt out on basically a podcast. We'll just take all of that out and just only have Kirby. And it's just going to be just a Kirby podcast on this thing. Because it's $100 a year for this RSS feed. But, like, because of the virus and everything, I have a bunch of money from overtime. And some of that money has gone to BLM. Some of that money's gone to these giveaways. And I'm not, like, swimming in it, but I have money. I have extra money. Some of it's also going to loans. So, like, let's say $1,000 worth of overtime. 250 is going to BLM. 200 has gone to the giveaway cards, and then like where am I at? 250, 200, so 450. And then like 400, 500 is gone to my loans. Just get those paid off sooner, and then whatever little bit left, like 150, 100 or 50 or whatever, that can go to just getting this damn podcast going. So then I'm doing 200 a year, but I'm doing plenty of overtime that I'll be able to pay that off anyway. So I'm good on that one. And I'm taking care of my loans. Like, let's talk about Scarf for a moment. With college and everything, I took out 15 loans. 15. Let's go 15 loans. I took out 15 loans, and over the years, I've had to just slowly pay them off, and the interest just kept climbing up, and all this stuff. And then got a job, got a real job, like 2-3 years ago. So I've just been paying them off. And then I got like a refinancing loan. Something important to know is you can get a loan to pay off a bunch of loans. And then so you're not worrying about all those interests going up. And you can bring down your interest rate overall. I might not explain that well. Let's say you have loans are like 15, 12, 10 or whatever. Like 3 loans, 15, 12, and 10. And so, they're accumulating interest in that rate. And then you're able to get a loan for maybe 10 or 9%. Like, it's all that money. You're going to pay, it's the same price as all that money, but now you have a lower interest at release. So you have this loan with another company, you get all that money, you pay off those loans, and now you just have that loan to deal with. Same amount of money, but at least the interest is down now. So you're not dealing with this 15% growing. You're not dealing with this 12% growing and the 10%. Now you just got a 9%. That's not bad compared to what it was. So that's something I did. I did a refinance eventually because I had some really bad loans because I did not understand how loans work. So I had really horrendous interest rates on some of my loans, and they ballooned awfully big. And I'm paying for it now. It's very unfortunate. It's criminal what kind of loans you can have. There should be way more regulation on that, and there should be better education on that. Because I did not understand what I was doing. And there should be just way more means of protecting students from doing really dumb loans. That would be very helpful. But I have a lot of loans, and I pay them down bit by bit by bit every month. Like, a third of my paycheck, not a third, let's go like monthly. Out of my monthly money that I make, 1/3 of all that goes to student loans. And then 1/3 is going to like rent and all these other things. And then the last third is going to retirement. And so I only have like a little bit of money I actually get to use every month. And that little bit of money goes to buying games. And that little bit of money goes to buying Kirby's, obviously. And also, I buy protein shakes. I've been buying gym equipment. I'm trying to get stronger during the pandemic. Like, I'm trying not to let the fact I can't go to the gym stop me. So I've been buying gym equipment. I bought dumbbells. I bought a kettlebell, slam ball. I bought resistance tubes, resistance bands. I'm buying equipment. I'm at the point where I'm working out 6 days a week now. Like, I am working this out. You're not going to see that much development for a little bit, but soon there'll be some real development. Like, this hasn't changed, has it? I don't think it really has. But it will. It should get more defined soon. Maybe in a month or so. and I really need to go. I need to go hard on this. I really need to go hard on this for another subject, and that is. But real quick, podcast. So you're doing a podcast every week. The last one was I'm squeaking my damn chair so much. The last one was with 2 Prime, which is a shit poster. Oh my god, talked with him for 3 hours. Very interesting. There's a list of topics we talked about. Might be something you want to hear. I thought it was pretty good. Learned a lot about advertising and things like that. There's some things in there that I could definitely learn and use to the channel's betterment. So something I can look at for sure on that one. What else? What else? What is it? So that's hit that. Next podcast guest is going to be a fine arts student. So we talk about how you get into fine arts, into college, community college as well, what you can do with fine arts. They also have a community communications major as well, is what they're also doing. And we also talk about abstract art and some things about that, and statues and creation and making. And we also talk about commissions. And the guest after is going to be another artist, but this is a digital artist who has their own store. They sell all their products. They do commissions. It's going to be a very fascinating talk. I'm going to talk with them today, actually. And it'll be interesting learning about, running your own store, running your own website, advertising yourself, burnout, all these things. It'll be very fascinating to talk about. So I'm glad I have this guest. I can't wait to talk to them. And there's a couple more artists I can get down the line. But I don't want it to just be artists, obviously. So I need to find some game developers or streamers, cosplayers, some other group. Like, I want to mix it up before I go back to artists again. And then at some point we'll rotate back to Verbal. At some point we'll rotate back to Mez. At some point we'll rotate back to Spiff. And maybe some of these other guests. Like, there are guests I'd like to rotate to again and again, because I think there's more to talk about for sure. Verb is someone to talk about for, like, he's definitely an Xbox kind of person, also a PC person. He's a caster. So there are things worth talking about with Verb there. Mez is a voice actor. Mez is very much a more PC person. Mez likes manga. He likes anime. There's a lot of there to talk about. Spiff, of course, known for Smite. I'm sure there's other things he wants to do. Like, there's other content he may want to do. He's really into movies. There's a lot of movie opinions to talk about. He's definitely got some background in filmmaking that's very interesting that I wanted to learn more about. So there's stuff to talk about with him there. Very creative things to talk about. 2 Prime is a very smart person. There's a lot of opinions he's got. He's better informed than I am definitely on politics. So he's definitely someone we're talking to about political things. And also about advertising, things like that. I think he's still got some things worth learning about. And also his creative process would be fun to learn about some more, I think. And then some of these artists would be great to talk to again in the future as well. Get their opinions on things as they develop. Or just, because there's also new controversies in the art world as well. Things are just still happening, digital and physical. Things are happening with them. Like there's a Patreon controversy happening right now. Could also talk about the Tumblr controversy that happened a while back. There's different things that can be talked about with artists that should be very useful. When it comes to cosplayers, I don't know much about cosplaying, so I gotta find another cosplayer, talk to them, learn more about cosplay. That'd be very interesting. Also, just what's going on with cosplayers right now, because the cons are not happening. Very interesting there. I wish I could talk to a con organizer, but they're dealing with their own stuff right now. Oh god, Virtual Comic Con's almost here. There are a lot of things that can be talked about. The truth of the matter is people are fascinating. So it's worth talking to people. That's why a podcast is worth listening to. There are so many different kind of podcasts. You can be very niche, of course. Like the Kirby podcast is extremely niche. By the way, Black Ball's script got finished. The recording got finished, so that'll happen eventually. The side channel's got episode 1 and 2 right now. I mean, the Kirby channel's got episode 1 and 2 right now. Jinx is working on getting those out. New episodes will come up. Old episodes will come up. And eventually it'll all be there. As the game episodes come out, I will put the gaming footage on the Kirby channel. We should probably link the Kirby channel, by the way, in our description. Now I realize it. And all that happening there. So, Scarf needs to get strong. Extremely, extremely strong. Because back surgery is an inevitability. So, I went to see a neurosurgeon yesterday. The neurosurgeon did a bunch of tests, did a bunch of physical things with me and everything. And what he found was there is muscle degeneration in my left leg. Which completely devastated me. Because I don't skip leg day. So it's interesting to find out, despite all the exercise I've been doing, my left leg is still degenerated. It's weaker, significantly weaker than my right leg. And I do isolation stuff too. So I'm like, that is extremely discouraging. So I'm working out 6 days a week. I'm doing 6,000 steps every day. I'm going to try to do swimming on Monday right now because that's my day off is Monday. When everyone else is potentially working, so no one else is at the pool. Because the problem is it's not a very big pool. And obviously right now it's the weekend. People are going to bring their kids to the pool. It's very hot. We're in the 90s. So I was like, well, I can't swim. Like, I can't actually exercise. Also because you're doing a lot of breathing, right? And you're doing a lot of exhausting. So my immune system should be lower while I'm doing all my swimming. And also I'm breathing a lot more. So if there's a lot more people out there, there's a chance if anyone that do have it, I'm more vulnerable to the virus. So that's a safety measure I need to keep in mind. Of course, the thing people are saying is there is a chance that UV light does kill the virus. But they don't have the answer whether that's true or not, which is weird because that should have been easily testable by now, and yet we don't have the answer to that. But if it's true that UV light does easily kill COVID, then I shouldn't have to worry. But you don't really know. You don't really know. That's the problem. So I'm going to have back surgery sometime in the next couple of months, and I'm going to be laid out for probably two months. So everything that I'm working hard for right now is going to disappear. At least for a while. Your muscles, they stick around for a while, and then if you just work out again, they'll come back. They come back better and not better, but they come back fast. So I have to, of course, cut down on whatever my diet is when after the surgery happens, and all that stuff. I'm gonna have to adjust. I'm gonna have to eat less and just fight hunger if that happens. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I gotta find some way to suppress hunger, and I have to just try not to do too much. Obviously, I'm gonna still want to stream. I don't know. Maybe we won't be able to stream for 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe we will. I don't want to stream immediately because they're telling me like the first week is going to be insanely painful. And they're like, you're going to be on so many drugs. I'm like, okay. Like, you're going to get effed up. I'm like, all right. Depending on how well those drugs work, I'd rather stream than lay in bed and rolling around. Because if I'm streaming, I have a distraction. If I'm making content, I have a distraction. If I'm just laying out and roll, and I can't even roll because it's a back surgery, so obviously I can't move. If I move, I could hurt something. It's gonna suck, and I need a distraction. And just laying in bed and watching a TV isn't gonna be enough. That ain't gonna do it for me. I need to engage. So I will probably still want to stream. But right. So Scarf did a stupid amount of overtime, so Scarf has enough money saved up for this. Scarf is going to buy a tablet for drawing, so maybe we'll do art streams. From bed, just bleh, and that might be the thing. I'm scared, obviously. I really am. The doctor, I'm like, so what are some complications? The doctor says, well, it's really rare, extremely, extremely rare. Don't worry, it's very rare. It's never happened to me or anyone I know. I was like, oh, that's not, okay, all right. We could accidentally cut your nerve and, paralyze you. So I'm like, you did not have to put that out there. Or just make the pain worse. I'm like, like they could accidentally Dr. House me as well. They're like, yeah, we could accidentally damage the nerve and you just feel pain down your leg for the rest of your life. Or we could really bungle it up and you can't move. Like, why did you say that? Why did you say that one? Oh, all right. Why? I told him, like, oh, Jesus. So, luckily, my job has a thing called comp time. I don't know if every job does this. I don't think every job does. But the city of San Diego does this. I assume a lot of cities do this. Where you can store up some overtime as vacation time. So, since I've done an insane amount of overtime, I have a lot of store. So what happens is usually I disappear and I do a bunch of overtime and everything sometimes. So that's when we don't have as many streams. And then it all gets stored up. So Scarf's not making any extra money. He just has more vacation time. So that if something comes up, he can take vacation. It's maxed out. When you hit a max, you can only get paid. So I have 3 weeks worth of overtime stored up for vacation. I'm going to be down for 2 months. So that's all going to be used so that I don't have unpaid bedtime. That's what's going to happen there. Like, oh, they're going to love me. For 2 months, there's going to be overtime for everyone else at work. They're going to love my ass. But that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen is I'm going to use up all that, and then whatever other vacation time I have is going to be used so that I'm not just in unpaid on my bed. So I'm still getting money to, stay alive. To keep the lights on, to keep the rent going. Like, because I'm essential. I'm very fortunate in this. I have an essential job. So I have all this overtime and all this stuff, while everyone else, they don't have that. It's really unfortunate. But I have this. So I don't have to worry about not having any money while I'm incapable of doing work. So that's the good news there. Oh, what else is there? So yeah, just using up the stored up overtime, vacation time, all that stuff's gonna get used up for that. And then yeah, and then I'm gonna be not doing work for 2 months. That's gonna feel really weird. If things get worse, maybe 3 months, who knows? I don't have enough vacation for all of that, but yeah. But all this stuff, of course, I have a lawyer, so all this, whatever money I do lose, will go into the lawsuit to get recuperated. Also, the surgeries will be lawsuit stuff and all that. It's a big enough policy to cover the surgeries. That's what's important. This is why I got a lawyer, to make sure that I have someone else keeping track of everything, and that, because obviously I'm not very smart about law, so I have someone who knows what they're doing. And then they're gonna file the lawsuit with all the expenses and everything. All I care about is coming out not negative. That's all I care about. Making sure my back's good. They make the money they make. If I get anything, I get anything. Whatever. I don't care about that. I care about the back. That's what I care about. I will want some compensation for pain and suffering, though, because dear God. I have not slept in 5 months. Now, what I mean by that is I have not slept a full night's sleep in 5 months. Even with the memory foam, it makes me more comfortable. I used to wake up 6 or 7 times a night. And maybe you could see that. February, March, April, May. And part of June. I was waking up, I rolled to another position, and I tried to sleep. And there's times where I just had to try to sleep through the pain. We get this mattress. Some nights it's only 2 or 3 times. Some nights it's only once. It's at least once though. And a few nights it's just trying to sleep through the pain. But a lot of nights now it is just it hurts in this position, switch positions, now it doesn't hurt, now I can go back to sleep. That is what's been, like, the last week has been that. It's fortunate. So I think the mattress has just gotten used to me now, so I'm actually able to get more sleep. I'm getting like maybe 5 to 6 when I used to get maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and very broken sleep at that. Like, it's over a 7-8 hour period, but it's just broken. Like, there were times when it's like 3 in the morning, I have to get up, and I'm like, well, I can't sleep. So I just pace back and forth in the hallway, trying to get the pain to go down, and then I'll lay back down. And I could go for like an hour or 2 hours. Really shitty times. Ugh. Like, I used to be able to lay on the floor and use the hard ground to just feel better. It got to the point where that wouldn't do anything. By the way, like I mentioned before, I got 3 steroid shots in my spine to try to relieve the pain. It did nothing. I've done everything in my power for my back. This mattress has thankfully helped more. And not a single doctor mentioned a mattress. I have seen a dozen doctors, and not a single one asked me about my mattress. Not a single one. I sleep on a futon, which is apparently the worst thing to sleep on, which my ignorant ass didn't know. I didn't know. A coworker at work who also has back problems said, "What kind of mattress you sleep on? Like a futon?" I was like, "Oh, that's Jesus. All right, well, that's not helping." And he's like, "Yeah, you just get a memory foam mattress, and you can't afford one because the one he got is 3,000. He's like, "You can't afford one. Just you can get like a topper and see how that works for now." And thankfully, the topper's helping. In the future, when I get a house, I'm gonna buy a full on mattress. Uh, and that's gonna run up. Like this topper's $100, but a full on mattress, they're 1,000. They're 1,000 plus. The best of the best is 3,000. You're saying don't get the like that NASA one because the compression it causes a lot of heat because it's all compressed together. So you're just really hot in bed. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, okay. I forget what they're called. I think it's not. Is it Serta? I forget which one he said it was. Like there's a memory foam mattress that is like perfect memory, so it compresses very well and you go deep into it. But it's just all that compression is containing a bunch of heat. And so you're just really hot. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. Ugh, especially in where we are. Hell no. So that's what's gonna happen. At some point in the future, Scarf's gonna be just we'll see how the streams are done, how YouTube is done, how all that stuff is done. I don't know. That'll be 2 months of I can't do too much. There'll be physical therapy and things like that, and it's gonna be weird not working. Like I'm at the job where it's gonna be the rest of my life, so it'll just be like a bike. Eventually, I'll get back to it, and it'll be good and everything. But for now, just oof. Damn, I kept going. I didn't even talk about anything I wanted to talk about this week. I didn't. That's a good thing though, because usually what I want to talk about is politics. Nobody wants to listen about politics. We're all inundated with so much politics. Like we don't even need me to talk about it. It's just well, what's on my mind about it. But this whole obviously back surgery thing, just obviously that's the newest thing on my mind. So that's the most important thing on my mind. Very important, obviously. So that right there is the vlog. I've gone on long enough. Could probably go even longer, but Jinx would not want that at all. Oh man. I think I've become a greater orator because of the vlog and because of the podcast. So that's good. And of course, obviously, because the channel, the stuff we do, all that stuff, I think we've gotten better at talking. We're better at explaining, better at forming thoughts. Last subject, and then we'll stop. Honest to goodness, I think I don't know what year or years. I think at least 2 years. There were 2 years where we're just on autopilot. I know for damn sure I was just on autopilot for 2019 and maybe 2018. There were fun moments here and there, but I know I was very much on autopilot. This year, I have tried to be very present and very mindful of what I'm doing and how I can improve and do better. I've been very mindful of that in many things, in my health, in the channel, in all this stuff. In friendships, like I'm trying to make sure I don't fall out of talking with people. Because I'll be honest with this one, looking at people wanting to get on the podcast, I'm like, oh, what about Jag? I haven't talked to Jag in literally 2 years. I'm like, oh shit. Wow, I'm not a good friend at all. I sent them a message like, hey, how's it going? It's been 2 years. Hey, they haven't messaged back, which rightfully so. Like, I have not talked to them in so long. So this year I've been really pushing and trying. I've really been pushing, and we're going to keep pushing and trying, for sure. And hopefully we maintain the momentum all the way till 21, 22, and so on and so forth. I don't want to be just on autopilot anymore. I really want to be trying to do something. Autopiloting is fine for like grinding it out, and part of life is grinding it out. And those points, like, yeah, that's fine to just autopilot. But I was just autopiloting. And if you don't make adjustments here and there during autopiloting, then you're not growing up. You're growing. You're growing like this, though. Very slight. But if you're more present, you can grow, and then like that. That's what I want to do. Like, I think we are better growing now because I'm actually trying to make more pushes to make us better, to make myself better. I think that's for sure. Like, we have been gradually getting better and stronger skill-wise over the years. We're almost at 7 years, by the way. Like, obviously, when we were first doing things, we were skyrocketing because obviously, when you're at nothing, when you're at level 0, you level up pretty quick. And then the gradual grinding, and then if you can find ways, you can get better. That's the whole thing. So, yeah. I want to actively grow smart. And I need to actually learn lessons and leave some regrets behind and look forward more and look back less. You should learn from your mistakes. That's when you look back. But you shouldn't, wallow in those mistakes anymore. That's what I'm saying to myself. And just keep pushing forward. So we'll see about all that. So that right there is the podcast. That right there is the vlog. I have fun talking. Hope you have fun watching and listening. That's what's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Squishy. He's so squishy. I'm a dork.